Nancy Pelosi responded to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez defeating Joe Crowley, who of course was in Democratic leadership, and naturally, she downplayed it.
Pelosi, to that end, if the Democratic Party is increasingly younger, more female, more diverse, more progressive, should the Democratic House leadership look that way?
Well, I'm female, I'm progressive, and the rest of them. What's your problem? 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
The problem, Democratic voters in New York last night seemed to express that problem.
Yeah, they did. They made a choice in one district. So let's not get yourself carried away as an expert on demographics and the rest of that within the caucus or outside the caucus.
Is that fear I smell? That's what that is. I need everybody to understand that's what that is. They're scared. Nancy Pelosi's scared. Other corporate Democrats are scared because there is a shift happening. It is a giant shift happening. And the Democratic Party is being taken over by the populist left. And she doesn't know how to process it. So what does she do? She plays defense. Well, hey, sure. I know that we just spent the entire 2016 election talking about women, feminism, women. Don't be a sexist. Support the women. But now, okay, sure. Don't say anything about the fact that I was supporting the white male candidate over the woman. And when asked a question about this young left-wing woman winning, well, it was just one district. It was one district. So I wouldn't take any conclusions away from that. Oh, well, thank you for admitting that your hollow focus on identity politics, it was McFeminism. I told you from the beginning. They use that as a shield to try to deflect from their corporate neoliberal policies. And the way you bust up that myth is, okay, here's a white male candidate that's a corporate neoliberal warmonger. Here's a left-wing candidate that's a woman. You're going to go for the woman, right? You're the one who tells me you care so deeply about identity politics. No, it's a shield. And obviously it was a shield. They trotted it out the most when it was Hillary Clinton. Policies aside, she's a woman. She's a woman. But now, well, it was one district and it doesn't matter. And I love how she said, the question was like young, female, and progressive. She's like, well, I'm female and I'm progressive. You are female, Nancy. You are not progressive. Nancy Pelosi is the worst of the worst. Remember, Nancy Pelosi bragged about selling out the most of anybody in the Democratic caucus. She admits, like, yeah, that's why I'm the leader, because I raise the most money. Where's she raising that money from? She's raising it from Wall Street. She's raising it from the military-industrial complex. She's raising it from the for-profit health insurance companies. So that's not, Nancy, that's not something to brag about. That's not something to brag about. And then she went on, by the way, to keep harping away on that same point. Like, no, this is not, this is one district and you can't really take away anything from it. So notice, whenever a candidate who's corporate happens to hang on and win, and by the way, it's usually because of a tremendous money advantage, okay? But whenever that happens, it is because that candidate is the kind of candidate that the American people want. This is what they say. But whenever somebody who's actually on the populist left, whenever a Justice Democrat wins, it's, well, that's not indicative of a shift in the party, and it's not because of their ideology that they won. Man, look at what happened. Look at what happened. A Justice Democrat was outspent 10-1, and she was up against a Democratic machine, a Democratic leader, who was likely going to replace Nancy Pelosi, and she won. With no money. Why? Because she had people power. Justice Democrats were there. Democratic Socialists of America. All these different left-wing groups. The organization on the ground. The message. The message was strong and left-wing. And she's like, no. No, this is one district. It's one district. It's one district. By the way, it's not one district. Over a dozen Justice Democrats have already won. When you look at Justice Democrats and you add in Our Revolution and Working Families Party and other left-wing groups, the win rate in this Democratic Civil War, and that's what it is, it's a Democratic Civil War, it's about 50%. So this idea of like, well, no, it's not, it's only one district, that's not even true. That's not even true. And remember, a 50% win rate when in every race the left is being outspent by the corporatists, that says something. What does that tell you? That tells you all things being equal, if all things were equal, and it was actually a battle of competing philosophies and ideas, the left would be running roughshod over the corporatists. Why? Because the polls show that we have the more popular positions. So naturally, Nancy Pelosi is going to downplay it, and it's just pathetic. It's just pathetic. So, I said it from the beginning. We're going to do a hostile takeover of the party, and we're in the middle of it right now. And this is the beginning. You think this is the end? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was the first prominent, really plant a flag in the sand prominent, if that's a phrase. I keep using that phrase. I don't even know if it's a real phrase. Plant a flag in the sand and saying, okay, we're here, and we're not going anywhere. So, to the extent that the Democratic Party can still be a viable party, it will only be viable insofar as Justice Democrats take it over. That's the strong populist left wing of the party. If you want to cheat and rig it and defeat the Justice Democrats in that way, well, then the Democratic Party will continue to be a dead party because you lost 1,000 seats under your leadership and Barack Obama and Chuck Schumer. So now we finally have some life coming in there where we know the Democrats can win with this philosophy. And she downplays it. So, by the way, whatever happened to unity? Whatever happened to unity, Nancy? Remember they used to scream at you on a regular basis, "What, unite! Unite! Why aren't you uniting?" And actually, to be fair to Joseph Crowley, he did immediately endorse Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Good for him, man. He did a lot of fucked up things, and his voting record's horrible, and he even was cheating on the day of the election, posting the campaign posters right by the entrance of the voting places, which you're not allowed to do, so he's breaking the law and everything. But to his credit, when she won, he was like, okay, I endorse you, and good for you. Nancy Pelosi's like, well, downplay it, don't even matter. They released a statement. The Democratic leadership released a statement on this election. It was like a short paragraph. 90 to 95% of the paragraph was talking about how awesome Joe Crowley is, and the last sentence was like, and congratulations to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. That statement should have been, the Democratic Party is becoming more vibrant. The Democratic Party has a brighter future, and it has a brighter future because of people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Outspent 10-1, but won because of the power of her ideas and the power of grassroots organizing. But no, they're going to keep spitting in your face. So, by the way, don't let them win. Don't let them win. Listen, again, I have nothing but sympathy for people who want to try to fight back against the machine and do it from outside the Democratic Party. By all means, I support you 100%. But don't at the same time think that, well, then it would be better if the establishment Democrats or the corporate Democrats still maintain control of the party. We need a battle, a war on all fronts, which means we do need to wage this civil war from within the party as well. And we're not going to let the corporatists win. I'm not going to roll over for some fucking neoliberal corporatist warmongers. And Alexandria didn't do that, and look at the results. So, I'm excited. I'm excited about the future. There's going to be a Justice Democrats caucus, and they are going to be driving policy in this country. We're talking about Ro Khanna, by the way, should be in Democratic leadership. The only congressperson to even recognize Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's existence. Nobody else in Congress even acknowledged her existence in this race. Now, I was really pissed at Ro Khanna, and I'm sure all of you were too, for his initial endorsement of Crowley. But to his credit, after we all rained hell down on him, he changed. So, we can have a Justice Democrats caucus, Ro Khanna, Raul Grijalva, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and others, and we could keep winning races, and then we could drive the political agenda in this country and make it what it should have been all along. So, we're gonna defeat him. It may take time. It's not gonna be steady progression the entire way. We're gonna take steps forward and steps backward, but this is the beginning of something very powerful, very meaningful, and the answer.